even more than most people. I can't play zombie games around her.
Actually,
most zombie games.
Actually, interesting story. He dropped a container of. Dave dropped a container of spicy, or it was not ancho chili. It was
garlic chili sauce.
Garlic chili sauce. Okay, and a huge glop of it landed on my ankle, on the ankle of my pants, and I almost panicked. That's why I jumped so high.
Yeah.
And freaked out, and that all feeds into this story I'm going to tell.
Yeah.
So but we'll let Slag go ahead and have his talk, and then I'll tell the story.
One last chance to prove your worth. What do you say? Kill that prisoner and prove that you aren't.
Aw, that's sweet, me man.
You said we'd be raiding.
Yeah, funny. A different funny side story. My cat was how I knew I could trust Dave. Jinxie was actually my cat.
Oh God,
when Dave and I met, and she'd never liked anyone. She didn't like anybody in my family. She only liked me. And even that took time. It took a little bit of time for her to warm up to me. And when she met Dave came over to my house. I think it was after our first date, and we were watching Hot Fuzz. And I went into the kitchen to grab something, and I came back out, and Jinxie was sitting on the arm of the couch, letting Dave pet her. And I sat there. I went slack-jawed.
Fight started.
Oh, there you go. But yeah, so I sat there slack-jawed looking at Dave, and I said to him, like, did you just, like, what did you do? Because Jinxie doesn't like anyone. And lo and behold, Jinxie was my barometer. If Jinxie didn't like him, he had no chance. So that's kind of a different side story. Hot Fuzz is a good movie.
It is.
I didn't expect it to be a good movie because actually I had seen it come, like when it came through theaters and all of that, and I was like, I'm not going to watch that. It looks stupid. And then Dave suggested it, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm game. And I think that's actually one of my favorite movies. It's just so.
And this is the weapon we were sent to recover. It's literally a wakizashi with a flamethrower attached.
Teriyaki shish kebab. But yeah, that's how I knew that. I figured if Jinxie liked Dave, then he couldn't be, he couldn't be all bad or bad just in general. And actually, that actually leads to the story about, as another side story about our very first meeting, which was the day before.
You're lucky
we met up at a Starbucks, and because I had met Dave online.
Yeah, I messed up pretty bad. I'm sorry.
I have not watched Undercover
I should
Brothers.
Try to go home and make amends.
Or Undercover Brother.
No right to ask.
But I sat there and I met Dave at a Starbucks, told him I would take him on a tour of the campus because he was coming to the school that I had finished undergrad at. And he and because we had only talked online and in a few messages, I sat there and I was like, well, shit, I'm not going to be a statistic, because I don't know him.
Oh,
technically.
explosive bobblehead.
Ooh, nice.
And that's going to affect the damage from our don't count bullets.
Ooh, nice. And actually, don't jump off the front of the forge.
Yeah, that will go badly.
That will go poorly. But yeah, so I parked a block away, and I walked from the campus bookstore where I parked, and I walked down to the Starbucks because I was like not taking chances. That way, if he looks sketchy, I could sit there and make a quick retreat.
Excuse me.
And so that's actually how we met. So that kind of a fun side story. But now, as to the reason why I don't like blood, since that's what we were getting at. When I think I was 17 or 18 years old, and I can't remember if it was the summer before I went to.
Just a block away? Yeah.
Well, actually, it was more like 2.5 blocks. It was. Well, wait a minute. It was 2 blocks away. It was 2 blocks away. And and there were multiple ways I could get to it. It was just a case of a block seemed like a good enough distance because he seemed like a decent fellow.
Yes.
You know, if I had gotten any kind of weird vibe, I never would have met him. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
You know. So anyway, so when I was about 17 or 18, I can't remember if it was the year. Well, actually, I must have been 18, and I can't remember if it was the summer between high school and my entrance into college, or my summer between college first year and second. And I don't remember which one it is, but I think my younger sister was 14 at the time. So I know that I was 18.
Oh, that's dickish.
Dear Starbucks, I never thought it would happen to me. I'm not even. Anyway, so
Flamethrower trap.
So anyway, so yeah, I was home for some summer, and I know that my younger sister was 14 at the time. Ballpark.
Well, she's 4 years younger than you.
She's
so.
4 years and 2 weeks younger than me. So
if she was 14, that would have to be when you were.
I know I was 18, and it was in the summer, so I.
Yeah. You turned 18
Anyway.
in October, so.
Anyway, not really
Anyway.
not really important, but I know she was about 14. She was 13, 14 years old.
Yeah, not really hurt by flamethrower traps. They still burn a little bit around the edges.
It's kind of like cooking bacon. Really weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, so back to the story. One of my older sisters was coming to visit, and one of her friends was a pilot, and he offered to fly her out from Cleveland to where we lived, which turned a 3.5-hour drive to something more akin to about 45 minutes to an hour by air. And she took him up on it, and we all got together, and he was like, well, you've never been in a double engine propellered
Here goes nothing.
plane. Let's, we can take each of you up on the plane. We're like, okay. And so I went first, and, sat there and came on back, afterwards, and got off the plane, and everything was fine and dandy. And my younger sister went. My mom was going to be last. So my younger sister gets on the plane, and they do their loop overhead, and she gets off. And instead of going to the back, she's still of that age where, you're always told to go to the front of the school bus. Mm-hmm. And she went towards the front of the plane, and she bounced off the propeller. The propeller had hit her. Now, you have to understand, about a week before, she had gotten her hair cut.
Jake's back? Oh, thank God.
She used to have, longer than shoulder-length hair, and I had hair halfway down my back.
Keep them from raiding our farm.
Actually, must have been between high school and college,
Don't want to hurt anybody.
because of how my hair was cut. Anyway, so she comes walking towards us, and I just see these gashes, but I don't recognize them as gashes. I sat there and I looked at her and I said, how the hell did you get chocolate pudding on your arm?
And if you expect him to act like one, then you'd better stop treating him like a
It didn't hit her head, but if her hair had been longer, it would have decapitated her.
We just want to make sure you're
Okay?
there.
And but she had three propeller strikes on her arm. I believe it was on her right arm. And
she's right.
she said she was in shock, and my older sister and I sat there and told her to come over to us. She walked towards us, kind of in shock, and we grabbed her and immediately started putting pressure on her arms. As expected, because you don't want somebody to bleed out. And we were right behind the county nursing home, as it happened, because that's where the airfield was. And they would sit there. So my mom ran up to the nursing home, which was probably about a quarter of a mile up the road, and they brought blankets and towels so we could wrap the wound and everything like that. And then they brought out the EMS, and the EMS took her off to the hospital, and then the police got there. And yeah, don't head towards a dangerous part of the vehicle, and any part of the vehicle is technically dangerous, and actually it's better if you don't get out of the vehicle when the propeller is still moving. FYI. So she got out, and my hands were just covered. So they took her to the hospital, and my hands were just.
Luck, by the way.
Ooh, very nice. Flying can be very dangerous, yes. But yes, so I looked at my hands, and they're just covered in blood, and they asked me if I wanted anything to wipe my hands off with, and they gave me a handy wipe. You know, so there's still blood on your hands after trying to use a handy wipe. It's like if you took your entire hands when you went to Buffalo Wild Wings or wherever for wings, and you sat there and you just like covered them in sauce, and then sat there and like, I'm trying to wash my hands with these handy wipes. Just it doesn't do well. But that made me very disinclined to watch bloody things. It something like that. I think it really changes you.
Yeah.
You know, all of the types of movies that I used to enjoy, like I used to enjoy war movies and that kind of stuff. I don't like them anymore, and I haven't liked them since I was 18. So it's been a while. Excuse me.
So,
but yeah, so that's why I don't like blood and gore and all of that stuff. So
yeah. So okay, we reunited Jake with his family,
and I'm relatively well adjusted.
Yeah. Funny thing is that they only have enough resources here to care for 3 people. So I don't think the game actually expected you to necessarily pull that off.
Interesting question. Why does it matter if you are here or not?
Good question. Let's see.
Well, you know, I don't have a problem with flying vehicles because usually I'm not in control of them, so I can deal. Just that it's kind of one of those cases of you disassociate yourself from what you can't control.
Oh yeah.
Kind of thing. That's my method of dealing. But I know a number of people who have issues with flying and
the like.
Well, I mean, heck, my little sister, she always gets sick when traveling. Okay. Still, she's an adult now, and she still gets sick. She gets motion sickness.
Okay.
Passenger, I get actually slightly nauseous if I'm in the back seat. Essentially, I think it's a case of your perspective. What? I can't actually read in a car while it's moving. At least not for any kind of long-term period. I can read for probably about 15 minutes. But I have to be looking like down so that I can't see any movement in my peripheral vision. Because if I see any movement in my peripheral vision, I'm just gonna throw up. I'm gonna blow chunks. It's not. It is not fun, and it gives me a headache. That's the other thing.
Yeah, the thing is with aviation and aviation accidents is whenever you hear about an aviation accident, it's usually fairly horrific.
Well, heck, there was recently
that soccer team.
The soccer team. Oh God, can I just sit here and say to me it was a horrifying thing that after the crash, there was actually a video that came out that they had made just before takeoff and posted of the team sitting there and talking to a camera and everything like that and being like, yay, this is gonna be fun and everything. I just sat there and I was like, oh my god, that's just. Is he in power armor?
I think 3 of them are in power armor.
4.
This is insane.
Where is this?
This is in Vault 88.
Jesus Christ.
You guys have passed to the point where you guys are basically Mirelurks to me. Okay, reloading is important. Oof. Shit, there's so many of them. Shut up, MacCready. When you stand up and do something, you can talk.
So yes, grenade time. Do you even have any grenades on you?
I don't know.
Survivalist and fucking. Leg shots, maybe?
This is an insane area.
What does State Tripper do again?
Stat boost, except for a big minus to strength.
It's nice that they're lined up like that.
That is a nice part.
Okay, there's one left.
Where's MacCready at? I think MacCready is at the bottom of the pile.
Leg. Long distance relationship and back up. He's gonna throw a grenade.
Disappearing, actor!
Okay. Hey, rascal! No, don't crawl in there.
Okay, that was insane. But we succeeded.
One of them was carrying in power armor with a fucking machete?
Yep.
You gotta be kidding me.
Nope, we don't.
You d-
Cavalier's girded leather chest piece. That is shit.
I'll take that stim pack, though.
Yeah.
6 straight dudes in Power Stroot, 1 loser hanging out in a wife beater. Dude mutated into a stronger dude. Now eat! I love
That's
some
beautiful.
of this commentary.
Okay.
It truly is beautiful.
So we succeeded in defending this place.
You know, this really makes me feel like we're playing, Fallout on our phones.
Oh, Fallout Shelter.
Yeah, Fallout Shelter.
Nothing worth the
Nothing worth even looking at. I mean, really,
It's a leather chest piece.
Most of it's shit. It's Raider armor that you've destroyed most of. There's nothing good there. I mean, yeah, there's just nothing good there.
Oh, you're a good kitty.
Rascal is a good kitty.
We have a cat sitting right between our legs right now, looking up at us like, "Pet me."
What I'm really impressed with is that he's lost weight. He went from 15 pounds. I think he's probably down to about 14, 13 and a half.
Yeah.
Which is good, because that's where he's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really funny, because all of our cats are kind of like, let's get fat! I like fat! Can we be fat? No. Damn it.
I need to lose some weight myself. Oh, yes, both me and the game, because I'm sitting here looking at this stuff I'm carrying, like... How much crap am I carrying? Oh, the shish kebab, the super sledge.
How about... Yeah.
We live in the future.
Welcome to the future! Ooh, you can put your bobblehead in, too.
True. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and store my...
I don't know. Welcome to the future of today. Well, really, you can only perceive the past because you can't perceive the future because the future hasn't happened yet. I mean, you can hypothesize of the future and take steps to counter things you think the future might bring. But, sadly, 2020 vision only works one way, and that's in the past.
Yeah. Hey, wait, I have 2015.
Can it? That's just wrong. You know something? I need to get my eyes did.
Get your eyes did?
Mm-hmm. I need to get some goddamn PRK.
I know what burning eyeballs smell like. Random comment to say at any point.
Well, if it's any consolation, I know what burnt flesh looks like.
Fact.
Well, no, I worked in a hospital. I worked at a hospital, and every now and then you'd sit there and you'd find like a segment of burnt flesh, and it does smell even as you're cleaning it, because that was my job. Ooh, new glasses. Awesome. I love getting new glasses. Mm-hmm. Actually, I think I need to go to the eye doctor again.
But you just went.
Yeah. When I put them on... Well, I need to find out what my precise distance between my pupils are. Mm-hmm. Because after I put on when I wear my sunglasses and then put these glasses on, they feel really, really, like... I have no other way to explain it other than clunky.
Okay.
And I'm like... I think I just need to alter the precise detail.
The present or the just decrypted perceptions of several microseconds ago as it's filtered through your expectations based on the past and imaginings of the future. Fair enough.
That's a fair enough statement.
I read an article recently basically questioning a lot of the ideas of, I guess, essentially objective perception.
Actually, I would sit there and say sentience is not a fiction. Sentience is perception. Is cognitive perception.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than fiction.
Yeah. At that point, you start getting into things like questions of the self being essentially an illusion meant to deal with filtering your perceptions in some way that you can comprehend. Whether or not the self itself is...
Self itself?
Yeah, whether there is an actual objective self or whether or not you're basically a construct built to... that is built to deal with perceptions.
But even if it's one or the other, it's the reality is going to be whatever you perceive it to be.
All right, been locking bars.
And your filter is everybody's filter is slightly different.
Yeah, essentially, even if we know that what we're dealing with as reality isn't necessarily the absolute ground truth, it's the best we can do, so you might as well deal with it on that terms.
Well, I mean, I would put it in this way. Truth is relative. You know, there's a certain degree of relativity of what truth is. Truth can be to one person a lie to another. You know, and the lie or the truth is going to be cognitively based upon whether or not on your perception and how you're viewing the world. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, there are certain things that you can sit there and say that no, these are hard truths. And that there are other aspects that you can sit there and say are not. And okay, I'll use the example of a hard truth is the Holocaust happened. Mm-hmm. Okay, we have facts to back it up. It's real. It happened.
Aw, she's stuck on the stairway.
Aw, I feel kind of sad for her, and you did not hit her.
I hit a railing.
You hit a railing. But yeah, so like the Holocaust, it happened. It's a thing. Now, here's the subjective ramifications that come with it. You know, someone might ask, how much did Hitler know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we aren't Hitler, so we don't know what Hitler knew. But we can sit there and say that it was Hitler's government, and therefore you can assume a certain degree of responsibility and knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, like, these are hard and soft facts and realities. And, hey, you know, maybe somebody wasn't in their right mind or not. To some degree, it doesn't even matter. You're still dealing with people. At the end of the day, you're still dealing with fucking people, and people are fucked up. We are all fucked up. Ooh, and there is a bag on the other side of the stairs. There you go.
As a note, we're sitting here doing the quest for MacCready. He wants us to go kill a couple assholes. Hey, Ghost! If you're a ghost, watch Ghost in the Shell.
Well, I mean, here's a question. What defines what a ghost is? I mean, humans do define what a ghost is. We typically define ghosts as...
What was the last thing to go through that gunner's mind?
That's a pretty ridge line, and look at these pretty stars.
No, a bullet.
No. That didn't go through his mind. That went through his head.
Oh, hello. Who are you?
Private. Hello, Private! Welcome to this year Army. You need another shot.
Not dead. Oh, God damn it.
Damn it, MacCready! Line of fire!
If you're a mercenary, you should know about that.
Best mistake you'll ever make.
Ow. Plasma grenade.
Can I just make the observation? Child soldier.
Yeah.
What are we expecting of a child soldier? I'm going to make us our third drink.
Good plan.
You can continue speaking about perception and shit.
Yeah. So one of the things I always loved about the original Ghost in the Shell is just some of those questions of...
You need to comment upon the Scarlett Johansson.
Yes.
With that, because actually no, hold on to that. I'll comment on it.
Yeah. The Ghost in the Shell, when you're sitting there going like, what measure a human? Which another one, a good... Since, yes, it should be pretty clear by now, we are anime geeks. Armitage. Or Armitage 3, which is actually about human replicant androids and such.
AO is not secure.
Why is there a robot talking?
Negative sensor read. Weapons cold.
Oh, that's not a good sign. Okay. Pretty sure that's an Assaultron. Yeah. Actually, I am going to do a quick save before I go up here. And I'm also going to use the restroom. So, we'll hit the save and then I'll come back out. Yes, darn humans, bags of meat and blood and such. Okay, so this is actually one of the heaviest small combat areas in the game, so it's worth taking a little bit of precautions. It's an absolute nightmare to do on survival.
Perimeter movement detected. Possible stealth unit in the AO.
Hello. Shit! Assaultron! Gunner Commander I'm not so worried about. My big concern right now is that freaking Assaultron. One of our 2 targets is coming at us in some power armor. Okay, Assaultron with weapons hot.
Okay, so what are we on to now?
Oh, we just killed Barnes.
Oh, cool. That's good news.
Mostly by shooting repeatedly in the dick.
Yeah, crotch shot. Long distance relationship is, I think, needed here.
Right now I'm thinking about that Assaultron.
Well, the thing is, the Assaultron's not getting at you right now, and that commander is.
And so are these gunners.
Gunners.
Now deal with the nearby targets.
Where is the Assaultron?
Should be over here somewhere.
No, you might have to go find it to deal with it. Although that guy has some pretty good cover.
He does.
I'm impressed.
He actually managed to do
He
cover
actually managed to do cover right.
Okay, so let's...
Boom, headshot.
Sploosh. Okay, that's the Assaultron. It's in there hanging out
Why
back
not
here.
attack its arm?
Good point.
Oh, you've done half the work for yourself.
Contact lost.
They're not that bright. It's like Cyclops. Okay.
Long distance relationship, I think, is appropriate now.
Oh.
There's a skeleton. Brain reacts to stimuli.
Stupid cars. Oh, right in the head.
There's a skeleton in your body. You know, I find this humorous, the whole, you have a skeleton in your body. You know, I'd be more terrified.
If you didn't.
I'd be more terrified if I had an exoskeleton on my body.
When did that happen?
When did this happen? When did I become a bug? Oh, Jesus H. Christ. What the hell? Help.
One thing that's coming out more and more with science is the fact that there's a...
Ooh, Sprinter's left leg.
a synth leg.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Dirty fatigues.
A surprising...
Who is your drill sergeant?
And
That
why
was a
haven't they-
private?
Yeah. And
that
why
was-
haven't they fixed you up?
You need squared away.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but one thing that's coming out more and more clearly as we
Become a cyborg.
as we understand more and more about what actually makes us up as people is that the part of you that it contains human DNA or that is actually objectively human is relatively small in comparison to your total body mass or what we consider our total body mass.
I mean, heck, you can sit there and you can objectively, you can look at what makes us human. Here's a question. I'm just going to lay this out. If you sit there and you look at, there you go.
The leg we picked up just does it's an armor piece that increases our speed a little bit.
Increases speed and has a couple other perks, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Wait, could you go back to that little cove?
Mm-hmm.
What's on the...
Wonder Glue, Flip Lighter, and dog tags.
Oh, okay, it's dog tags. Okay. It looked vaguely kind of like a stim pack.
I love the violin music right now.
But anyway, so, you know, when you look at, you know, I mean, heck, even chemically, you can look at what makes up love, and sit there and
Whoops.
you're gonna have to get rid of that.
Yeah, don't want to pick up an automatic laser rifle.
That's just crap. But no, I mean, there's certain chemicals that give a certain response, and that's the science behind it. But that doesn't necessarily, even though you have the science behind it, doesn't mean that it negates the emotion it evokes. Mm-hmm. You know, that one thing does not preclude the other, but that it can't act as an explanation. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, for example, maybe you sat there and you had I think everybody's done this. That you've sat there. And
Grognak the barbarian.
You've had a relationship with somebody that you sat there and afterwards you're like, what the fuck was I doing with that person? You know, I think everybody has a story like that somewhere in their history that you can sit there and you can look at and be like, you know, something cognitively. I look back at this person. They weren't good for me. They didn't add anything to my person. And actually, in some degree, they were a negative for me.
But it seemed like a good idea at the time.
But it seemed like a good idea at the time. Why was that? And you can sit there and to a certain degree, you can say that part of that was chemical emotion, you know, or chemically perceived emotion. And it's whether or not you sit there and you decide to follow with a chemically perceived emotion versus, you know, finding somebody who is good for you. Mm-hmm. You know? And even if you have somebody who's good for you now, that doesn't mean that they're going to be good for you forever.
I should send a message to the gunners to stay off my back.
And how much work did you do?
Loud and clear. Definitely. The gunners, it's always about the bottom line. And they just lost this entire way station.
Oh, so they're a corporation.
Besides,
his armor looks badass now.
I was involved. Anyway, I guess I owe you a favor.
The only way it would be better is if it had spikes.
After all, you hired me, but I'm the one that
Look at the shoulder.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean like literal like spikes coming off of his shoulders.
Glad you enjoyed it. Tell you what.
I enjoy that, but I was meaning like on the
I'll still stick with you because that was part of the original deal.
Spot between
Now
the
we're
two.
even. There you go. Here. Lead on, boss.
Yeah, boss man.
Right, I'm your boss.